2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Nine Hole Podcast. This is your host, Ian Miller. I've been fortunate enough, as I've said many times before, to have guests on here with unique experiences in the baseball world, in the baseball industry, and today is no different. I am honored today to have one of my ex-teammates on here, 5-year Major League veteran with the Phillies and current assistant coach at Blinn College, Cameron Rupp. Cam, what's going on, baby?
Melzy, what's up, my brother? How are you?
Man, I am living the dream, and I am grateful for you being here, dude. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely, man. Been a long time, too long, I think.
No
we
kidding.
Go back to 2018. It doesn't feel like 6 years, but gosh almighty.
That's right, dude. 2018 with the Tacoma Rainiers, AAA affiliate of the Seattle Mariners. I actually just talked to our hitting coach back then, Roy Howe, yesterday. Said he's a fan of the podcast, which is crazy. And I'm extremely appreciative, dude. But I wanted to have you on here, man. I wanted to pick your brain. Obviously, you were a catcher in the big leagues for quite some time. You had some success, man. After you've been done with baseball, after you were done with your professional career, you got your degree. We'll talk about it a little bit. You spent a year at your alma mater, at Texas with the Longhorns, man, assistant coach there, and now you're at Blinn. So I wanted to talk about maybe the recruiting game. I wanted to talk about maybe some separators and getting some, having kids and young athletes being able to maximize what they have. And, man, just talk about some things maybe that worked for you. So hopefully who's ever listening can kind of take what you say and apply it to them, man. If that sounds cool, man, I'd love to get going with it.
Absolutely, Melzy. Let's do it, man.
Let's do it, dude. So as I just alluded to, as soon as you were done, you finished up your degree. I'm gonna get to where you're at right now, but I wanted to first and foremost lead off with, dude, you spent parts of 5 seasons in the show. You had success, made a couple bucks, and here you are finishing up your degree, dude. I'm reading that you got it in the applied learning and development sector. What does that mean, and what are you hoping to accomplish with that?
Well, it's it's School of Education, which is probably at the University of Texas, which is a pretty prestigious university as far as academics goes. For me, it was probably the easiest route for me to graduate and play baseball. So when I went to school, I got drafted out of high school, chose to go to college, and when I got drafted after my junior year, my parents made me promise I would go back and graduate. And I felt like 2020 was my last year playing, and I took a couple years off. I took a year off, and decided that it was, I need to figure out what I want to do. I made some money, but not enough to be able to last a lifetime. Well, I decided, hey, it's time to get back into school. I need to graduate. I want to be a coach. Well, in Texas, if you want to be a high school coach, you got to have a degree. And if you want to be a college coach, you have to have a degree.
Really?
So, yeah, that was important. And so not having that, I wasn't able to pursue what I wanted to be immediately. So I was like, okay, I gotta go back to school and finish. And, it was very difficult being 35 years old, getting back in a classroom with a bunch of 19, 20-year-olds.
I get it.
And so it even to the point of I was older than some of my professors, and that was interesting. But it was really great because it gave you a new perspective of how the world's going and what some of these younger kids are like, because if I'm going to be a college coach, I'm going to have to interact with these kids. So it helped me to get in kind of into their brains, and just, I had group projects I had to be a part of. I had to really learn how they think, because I'm going to have to recruit them if that's what I want to do. And so at Texas, I got to be what they called the student assistant, which you can only be a student assistant at the school you played for.
Really?
Which was, I did not know. And there's no more grad assistant. There's no more, you can be a grad manager. but you have to be in grad school, which I wasn't going to school no more. I graduated, I was like, hey, it's time to hit the road. So you have to go back to school at the school you played for to be able to be a student assistant. So that's what I did, and got to really learn at the Division I level how you recruit, how the administration, the behind the scenes really is, and like what all the NCAA rules, the scholarships, the things that you have to really understand to be able to do it, which I had no idea. It was a mess.
I
To be
bet.
honest with you, just you spending time in the big leagues, spending time learning as I got older how politics in baseball or the front offices work, organizations are run. You kind of have this idea, but then you go to the college level and it's completely different. You're
Oh,
dealing with eligibility, you're dealing with grades, scholarships. Only a certain amount of people can be on a scholarship, and it's a lot to learn. And so I really tried to be a sponge in our meetings and just understand what it takes to be a college coach.
I love it, dude. So obviously, like you have perspective, not just as a player, right? You have perspective as a Division I coach. You have perspective as a junior college coach, man, and being able to finish up your degree, kind of get hands and everything, seeing how things are behind the scenes. That's obviously like big time. That's big time beneficial to any program that you're at, any school that you're at, man. So kind of what I'm hearing is that maybe the long-term dream, the long-term vision may be to be, a head coach at a program. Am I,
Yeah,
reading that?
that's the goal. I had opportunities probably to get into professional baseball as a coach, but it's not that I didn't love my time as a professional baseball player, but I think I want it to matter every day. And not that it doesn't matter every day in the big leagues or in the minor leagues to players, but winning and losing matters at the college level. And I think you develop players at a higher rate when winning and losing matters more.
Oh,
And uh, I think some of those guys in pro ball, even some of the big time prospects, it's like, well, I went 3 for 4 today. Yeah, but you lost. But I went 0 for 4 today, but we won. But I'm still down in the dumps because I went 0 for 4. And I know it's all about development. It's about getting to the next level, essentially getting to the big leagues. But if you take that mindset from the minor leagues of like a small selfish mindset of like how my day was over what the team did, it's going to keep going with you
yeah,
as you climb that ladder.
yeah,
But, some guys can flip it and some guys have it from the beginning where it's like, hey, we won. I went 0 for 4, but you know what? I've made some plays on defense. I threw a guy out. I blocked 2 pitches that kept runners at third or from advancing to the next base. That mindset, if you can instill that in guys, I think you're going to have a higher rate of success as you climb the ladder. You'll go until you can't, essentially, until your talent takes you to where the end is, whether it's high A, double A, the big leagues. But that mindset, I believe, will help you get to where you want to go. And I think if you can get that in guys between 18 and 20, 21, 22, it's going to, you'll start to see more college kids getting to the big leagues a little bit faster. And then it also takes away, when you're playing for everybody else, the game becomes easier for you.
Mm. Ooh, I love that, dude. I like that for me. Just kind of thinking about my skill set, how I was, man. I was a grinder. Like I just ran fast, played a little bit of defense, right? Those were kind of my stronger suits, right? So how am I going to influence a team? Like it's going to be late inning pinch running. It's going to be maybe coming off the bench playing defense. Dude, it's just about winning, right? Getting a bunt down, something like that. Maybe in the minor leagues in an extra inning game might not be about winning, right? And I understand that, right? It's about the development and getting them to the show. But it's cool to see, like at the college level, like, dude, it is literally about winning because your job, the head coach's job, whoever the coach's job, whoever has that head coaching job or is on the coaching staff, their well-being and how they provide for their families depends on the success of the team, right? So, dude,
Right.
I absolutely love that. It makes a ton of sense to me with that experience that you've had at playing, obviously, in the major leagues, playing at the Division I level, the top-tier Division I level, right? You got to the College World Series. We'll touch on that in a little bit. But going back and coaching then for that same team and now being at the junior college level, dude, what is the difference maybe between like the top tier, Division I level and the JUCO level? Is it man, is it velocity? Is it stuff? Like, is it mindset? Like, dude, maybe just give me a little bit of like a general knowledge on that.
Surprisingly, it's not that much different. Now, obviously, there's more guys at the Division I level per team that are locked in, got the stuff, the depth of the players. Whereas, like junior college, you may have 9 or 10 guys, and then instead of a whole roster of 30 at the Division I level. And the way that the portal works now, if you're not a Power 5 school, every other school is essentially a junior college now, because they'll go put up numbers at a junior or at a mid-major, hit 330 with 20 homers or throw or shove, and have an ERA sub 2 ERA. And you know what they're doing? Portal. I got my experience. Let's go. Now, and the NIL money and all that. The NCAA has opened a Pandora's box, let's say, for a lot of things. And but we get a lot of kickbacks. We get a lot of guys that I think this spring we got 6 guys that were at Division I schools in the fall that were just not going to play, but they want to play, or some of them didn't make their team, which happens.
Yeah.
We've got 3 kids from A&M, a kid from Texas, a kid from U of H, that are all come in to help us. A kid from Auburn,
dang, dude,
that come back, and it's like, I just want to pitch. I want to play. I want to get my 300 at bats instead of my 40 at bats here and there, so I can go play. So whether they go back to A&M or go back to Texas or Auburn, whatever, they come because they want to play. And that's, the talent isn't that much different, which surprised me, because junior college when I was playing wasn't that.
Yeah.
It was a little bit different. It was kind of the guys that didn't play much in high school. They kind of got hidden a little bit behind better players. But now it's guys that want to come play.
For sure.
And it's, 40 guys on a Division I college. There's going to be a lot that doesn't play. There's going to be you only get 4 years of eligibility. You get 4. And why are you going to waste one of them throwing 10 innings or getting 10 at bats? Injuries have to happen for me to play or whatever, which doesn't really happen as often at the college level because you're not playing every day.
For sure. For sure, man.
But, there's really not that much different of the talent level. Now, there's some bad junior colleges. Don't get me wrong. But there's also a lot of teams that have really good players. I think we've got not including the guys that came in at spring, we've got guys a pitcher going to Texas, a pitcher going to South Carolina, Mississippi State. We've got guys going to U of H, Texas State, Florida Atlantic. We've got guys going everywhere, and we got guys that can play. And so there's a lot of talent in junior college, and there's a lot of it's changed. The game has changed, and it's. I think somebody made the comment of we were playing McLennan, which is right out just in Waco, north of us. If you combined our teams, we could play with any Division I school, any of them.
That makes sense, dude. And Texas, Texas is legit at baseball, dude. State of Texas, man. JUCO, any level, right? It's different, obviously, than when we were in college, right? So I was a walk-on at Wagner College, Staten Island, New York, in the Northeast, man. Like, at the time, was the bottom of the barrel. I just got in there, man, and made the team, dude. And I played my freshman year, but it wasn't that sexy. I wasn't surrounded by dudes that were like first round talent that were going to elevate my game, make me rise up, right? That you surround yourself with better people, hopefully you rise up. And it's like, man, I'd love, man, we would go play like Winthrop and Kent State,
Yeah.
and Jacksonville, UCF. I'd go to these schools. I'd be like, man, I wish I was here, But what's holding me back is redshirting, right? If I want to transfer, I'm gonna have to sit out a year. What's the point if I am playing at a Division I school, right? Even though it's not up to my standards that I thought. It's like, dude, I'm gonna sit here and wait it out, and it ended up being the right decision. But what kind of restricted me from taking action was sitting out a year. Like, how am I going to develop if I'm not going to play? You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and that's the thing is, everybody wants the sexy look, the gear, I play for Texas, I play for OU, I play for whoever. You dress out for them, right? Like, you want to play, That's the only way to develop. Now, there's guys that that are really close, but we need a little bit more, right? They got to get a little bit more. They got to get, and then, they maybe not pitch, they redshirt, or they throw 7 or 8 innings as a freshman, but then sophomore, junior year, they go. There's those guys.
Yeah.
But the others, it's just like, if you're not going to play even your first 2 or 3 years, like, why?
Yeah.
Go play at a junior college or transfer or get out of there. Don't just be there because you want to be there. Now, some guys, they don't see a future past the college game, which is fine. That's to each their own, right? But you got to be able to, if you want to play, you got to go where you're going to play.
Amen.
And you obviously got to earn it. Nothing's guaranteed. I can't tell a kid, hey, you're going to come in and be our starting shortstop no, you're going to come in, you're going to have every opportunity to be our shortstop. It's your job to lose, but I'm not just going to give it to you. Or
100%.
Same thing, it's just guys want that guarantee, and it's not.
No, I get it, dude. I get it. So obviously, like, the portal has made college baseball at any level more competitive, more cutthroat, right? So it's like you have to show up with a purpose day in and day out and absolutely grind. So you are at Blinn College right now, JUCO in Texas, and we were talking a little bit before we got on air. I think you guys have played 10, 15 games or something like that already, maybe even more, dude, which is crazy because, like, Wagner College out here, I think they were just out at Texas A&M. Dude, I think, they only have 4, 5, 6 games under their belt, which is crazy. So the competitive advantage is almost in your guys' court, right? You guys are getting more reps. You guys are out in the fresh air and the sunshine, dude. And that's awesome, dude. It makes it more competitive, right? Develop those guys more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we get started January. We started back January 10th, and our first game was January 28th, 29th. And we go. And they go by regions in junior college, and every region has a different type of schedule. Where, like, we're in region 14, but region 5, which is like Northwest Texas, the Panhandle, Oklahoma, all them, they'll play like double headers twice a week. They'll play Wednesday, they play 2, and then Saturday they play 2. But we're in region 14, we play Tuesday, Thursday, and a doubleheader on Saturday. And then it'll kind of flip. So it's more of like a actual college series but we get going, man. And we play 56 games just like the Division I level. It's not, obviously, the schedules are not always set in stone. We can move a little bit easier because we're not dealing with TV. We're not dealing with a whole lot of travel, hotel arrangements. There's not really everything around us is within 2 hours.
That's big.
And so it's really makes it easy to change. Hey, we got weather coming. Let's push it back a day, or let's play a day or sooner. Whatever, change times. It makes it a lot easier for us. But we get going and when we go, it's a lot of fun.
I love that, man. So you guys have the flexibility of being maybe, that smaller JUCO program, but you guys are still developing like a Division I program, like a top program. That is awesome, dude. So obviously with the different levels could come different opportunity, right? But today the game's changing, right? You can be seen anywhere. So this is the 9-Hole podcast where I talk to the next generation of 9-hole hitters, right? I was fortunate enough to get to the big leagues in the 9-hole. Dude, I went to Wagner College, right? So I just alluded to it. I wasn't going to get seen at Wagner, man. And
Yeah.
Staten Island, New York, at the time, I don't know how it is now, but Staten Island stinks. Like I needed to go somewhere to get seen, right? So maybe I had a tough freshman year. Maybe my reputation in the Northeast after my freshman year is this guy's just an average baseball player. Can run quick. I wanted to get some new eyes on me, right? So how I got seen, how I got drafted was my summer ball. After my sophomore year, had a good year my sophomore year, went out to the Alaskan League, ended up getting seen, got some attention out there, made a top prospect list or two, and then kind of everything kind of started like steamrolling from there in a positive light. Dude, I wanted to ask you, because like I said, dude, you've grinded from little league to the big leagues. You've had a successful career. You've seen the top at Texas, and you've seen junior college, right, at Blinn. And I'm not saying that that's total opposites, dude. What I just wanted to portray to who's ever listening, right, my audience, the next generation of baseball players, is I wanted to ask you, can you get seen anywhere? Let's say if you are an 80 grade talent or a 60 grade talent at Blinn, do you have the same opportunity as an 80 grade or a 60 grade at University of Nebraska or something like that? Can you get seen anywhere?
Absolutely. So it's kind of funny you ask that because I got drafted out of high school. I graduated. I went to a very small private school in Dallas. Obviously, summer ball, you play and you get seen in high school. But I mean, I graduated with 88 people. Like in a little small private school, right? Like it's nothing. Now it's grown a little bit, but junior college you get seen. Your Division I, you're going to get seen. And I'll tell you an advantage of junior college, we play 28 games in the fall against other competition.
Ooh.
We have 14 doubleheaders in the fall. So when you come in as a freshman, you get played. You get to play. We're not just inter squatting and getting
and the stats don't count.
No, stats don't count. They come in, they watch you throw an inning or two, get you 4 or 5 at bats in a day. And you get seen, right? Like scouts got nothing else to do in the fall, but just go get, hey, I got eyes on this guy here at Blinn or this guy at McLennan or where he threw against, some of the top players for this school and did really well. This guy didn't. But you know what? He's got the stuff. Let's see what he can do in the spring, right? So they're there. They come and find you. Junior college level, you can get drafted after your freshman year. You can get drafted after your sophomore year. Like those are big deals. Guys that struggle in the classroom that just want to play baseball. They want to get to the big leagues. They want to work. They want to play baseball. They're not very good in the classroom. Come to a junior college. Take care of your academics. Get drafted after your freshman year. Get drafted after your sophomore year. Whatever it may be. You go to a 4-year school. You can't get drafted until your junior year.
Yeah.
And some guys are draft eligible sophomores, depending when your birthday falls, but not very many, right? But you'll get seen. We send guys off. We had a couple of kids go to the Cape last year from Blinn. Like they get the opportunity to go. Like there's the draft league, which is the old Appalachian League in the Carolinas. Then we send guys to Alaska. We send guys to California, all over. Go play this summer. There's a league in Virginia,
Valley.
Yeah, the Valley League, and then there's a Texas League that's starting. There used to be a big one when I was in high school, and that kind of went away.
Texas Collegiate or something like that.
And now it's starting to pop back up. So there's places for everybody to go play in college, and I promise you, they'll find you. Word of mouth, it's big now. Social media, players putting their work. That's how we do a lot of recruiting. Seeing how guys get, there's guys that we can't get to, but I can watch them on Twitter and say, "Ooh, that guy's got a good swing. I wonder, where does he play?" Call a friend or whatever. Be like, "Hey, tell me about this kid that's in your area. Do you know?" And word of mouth, they find you because that's their job. Those scouts, those recruiting coordinators at colleges, it's their job to find the best. So they're going to do what it takes to find the best because their job matters. And then getting guys in school, getting guys drafted, they those guys that sign guys, like, they want them to get to the big leagues. You get your name put behind them, but they're the ones that found you. And so it's such a big deal, and guys got to understand, like, they'll find you. I promise you, they're looking.
That's big time, dude. I wanted you to elaborate on it because, at least like I alluded to when we were coming up, there's a stipulation maybe around the junior college level. It's like, dude, nah, I want to go play Division I. Well, now, man, they'll find you anywhere, right? So I wanted to make sure that you hit on that. I'm super appreciative that you said that, dude. Before we move forward, just wanted to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's stream, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, the Cleveland Student Visionaries of the Year. They are amidst, that's a good word right there. They are in the middle of the 7-week challenge to raise funds for the fight against blood cancer. Check out the link in the description. There's a donate link up top in the banner. Check it out when you get a chance. Great cause. Moving on, man. So, like I said, you have awesome experience as a coach, multiple levels, as a player, both at the collegiate, professional, major league level, like every level. It's amazing. Dude, you also have, extended experience in the recruiting game, right? You saw it from multiple levels. Dude, how can a player or a kid win or stand out in the recruiting game? Maybe separate themselves from, like, dude, you might get 1,000 like reach out emails with a bunch of video, dude. How can somebody stand out and get your attention?
The biggest thing is play hard. Play hard. I want to see it matter to you. Obviously the big moments. Baseball is a game of failure. You're not always going to get hits when I come see you. You're not always going to throw a shutout when I come see you. You're like, but I want to see how you handle failure. I want to see how you handle yourself when things are going well. And I want to see play. I want to see play the game. It's funny. Somebody made a comment. I'm not going to name any names, but sometimes it feels like I have a bunch of DHs that just can hit, and the defense doesn't matter. You got to be able to play both sides of the ball. You got to know where the ball is supposed to be. You got to know where the ball is supposed to go. Now, that's part of a coach's job, is to teach that. But I don't want to have to do it from scratch at the college level. The college level, like, you want to come in and play, you got to know the game. All right? I can advance the game and get your knowledge and advance your knowledge, and some things to see what you do, where you need to be, pitch calling, whatever it is, hitting behind the dish, like whatever it may be, we can elaborate, we can expand your knowledge of the game, but you have to have some knowledge now. And sometimes it feels like these kids now, it's all about, look at my swing, look at my how hard I throw. Well, I don't care if you can run 14 steps and throw it 102. I could probably still do that, right? Like, I want to see you get out there on the mound. I want to see your accuracy when you're throwing the bases. I want to see how you go after the balls. There's just so much of the game that I think gets thrown away because it's all about, well, look how hard I throw. Look how far I hit it. My exit velocity off a tee. Well, your exit velocity off a tee, the ball's moving when you're throwing it. Like in a game, like, that just means you swing hard.
For sure.
Swing hard in case you hit it. Yeah, I mean, I used to tell myself that when I was struggling. It's like, hey, swing hard just in case you hit it. Like, I'm not seeing it real well, but if I do hit it, it's going to go a long way, right? But, you watch guys and how they handle themselves. They're at bats. Are they, are they complaining about every pitch that doesn't go their way? I don't want that guy.
Yeah.
Like, do you really need everything to go your way to be successful? Do you? Or can you handle the failure of it and be like, you know what? I got 3 strikes. You know what? He screwed me on the first 2, but I'm going to battle here, and I'm going to get my knock. or am I going to let that affect me, and then I'm going to walk down with my head back and just head and tail between my legs and just be like, umpire screwed me up. Umpire screwed me on 2 pitches. Well, you had a third. Like, you had a third. What'd you do with it? Did you let it go by? Did you swing at a bad pitch? Like, you got to be able to flesh that out. And I know it comes with, like, maturity, like, growing up a little bit. I get it. You're a high school kid. Like, it's great. But you know what? You got to be able to overcome it. You know, you may have a bad at bat. How do you do the next one? Do you handle it better? Or do you let it snowball and go to 0 for 4 instead of 1 or 3 for 4 or 1 for 4, whatever it may be? How do you handle that? Do you go forward?
I love it. I love it. So those kind of like intangibles, those things that you develop over time, being able to be a smart baseball player, like that can help you stand out. You go see somebody, man. My thing was something that held me back was the game would fucking move quick for me, dude. So I'd be out in the outfield, there'd be a man on second base. I'm in center field and there's a ground ball up the middle. Dude, it's a 6-2 ball game, right? And I'm trying to throw that guy out at home when really keep that guy off second. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to make the play. Dude, that's what held me back. I think 2019 where I was really like able to lock in and really like kind of, think about the situation before it happened. That's when I got an opportunity. I got traded. I got an opportunity to get up there, dude. So I think that is so big, kind of being able to slow the game down, being able to be in control of your emotions. Just being present, man. That's huge. That's huge, man. I think that's like an underrated quality, dude. I absolutely love it. So just talking a little bit, maybe, not to get too much into the personal life. You're a girl dad, right? Mm-hmm. I'm a girl dad as well. We're coming up on the 9-month, milestone, right? So we got teeth popping out. We got teeth, poking through the gums, right? Sleepless nights still, eating real food. Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy kind of seeing the progression and how everything's moving, man. But let's say if you had a son, mm-hmm. right? And your son was going to enter the high school ranks and wanted to maybe follow in your footsteps, have a successful career at the Division I level, have a successful career and grind through the minor leagues, get to the big leagues and play 5+ years in the big leagues, dude. How would you prepare him and why? What would you tell him to be ready for? What would you tell him to do? How would you prepare him for that journey?
The first part, you'd have to love it. You got to love the game. There's no way around it to be successful if you don't love it. You have to, as long as he wants to play, he wants to go, and he wants to follow in those footsteps, that's great. Now, am I going to push him to be better? Absolutely. I'm not going to force him to do anything, because when you start forcing guys to get into the weight room, get on, go hit, let's go take ground balls, let's go play catch, whatever, then it becomes almost like a chore.
Yeah.
Right? And now there may be times where I'm like, hey man, let's go play catch. Let's go to the cage. You want me to throw you BP, whatever? Yeah, come on, you want to do that? Let's go. I may ask, but if he tells me no, I'm be like, okay. Ask him. I may ask him again later, like, hey, what do you want to do? We got nothing going on. No school, no whatever. Let's go do something. You want to go? But that's the way I was. I was that way with my dad. I was like, Dad, let's go play catch.
Yeah.
Let's go hit. Let's go to the park. Can you throw with me? Can we, like that was him. And my dad played a little bit in the minor leagues. So he knew, and he loved the game. And so I had that to push me. Right. And so my dad never forced me. My dad never, but I always wanted to. As long as that want to is there, then as a dad, I would be like, okay, let's go. You want to go? And then when I got to be able to drive, I'd go drive myself to the cage, hit off the pitching machine.
That was fun for you.
Yeah. Like I missed school a couple times. I went and hit instead on my lunch break instead. Right. Like that made me, like, I think that's the difference that some people that I played with in high school that went and played college or junior college, but like that was the difference between me and them was at lunch, instead of going to eat, I went and hit.
Mm.
I went and did some catching drills, or I went and did that, and they'd go eat. But that doesn't mean that those guys weren't good. I just wanted it more. I knew what I wanted to be, and if I have a son that wants to do that, I'm gonna give him every opportunity to do that. I'm gonna find the best guy for him to hit with in my area. I'm gonna find the best pitching coach or whatever it may be that he does. I'm gonna find that for him, and I'm gonna push him, but I'm not gonna force him. I
Yeah.
think I think as a kid, I hear a lot of parents are like, he's 8 years old. Oh, we Division One. He's 8 and coaching. Like, who cares? Let him have fun, play. He's gonna make mistakes. He's gonna get out. They're gonna do that at every level. So why stress on it now? Let them play. Let them go. As they get older and they want to keep going, you push them to keep going. But don't force it. You can't force them to do that, because that's when they lose their drive, their love for whatever it is they're doing, and it doesn't make it fun for either one of you
Oh
anymore.
yeah, 100%, dude. So you're touching on like you had the hunger, maybe
Mm-hmm.
that was different than other people's hunger. You're talking about the lunch break stuff. People will go eat and you'd go grind, dude. I absolutely love that. Trying to kind of like tie my own story in and relate it to it. I'm like, dude, how can I portray to the next generation of hopeful major league players, right? That want to get there. It's like, dude, what was my separator? Well, dude, man, like when I wanted to have fun with my friends, like we would go and we'd go hit in the cage, or
Mm-hmm.
like on our downtime, we'd go to the gym, or like we'd go long toss in a park, kill an hour, see how far we could throw it. And it's like, that's crazy. But like I'm developing myself and my skills, but also my discipline, my motivation and stuff to kind of further me, dude. I remember like being in college and we had homecoming, right? Homecoming's supposed to be, the football team plays and there's big parties in the parking lot. And I'd be down like at our field hitting in the cage. Like I would take a picture and send it to the team group chat, be like, yo, I'm here. You guys are blacked out right now, but I'm here. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like that's what my hunger was like. So trying to like, dude, when you're talking about that and your hunger, man, I absolutely feel that. I absolutely feel that. And not forcing oh man, I love it.
yeah. That's like, don't let them live out their dream. Don't live out your dream for them.
That's
Right?
huge, man.
That's like their dream and your dream could be two completely different things. But if y'all share the same dream, then it's like, let's go. And
Yeah.
that's what my dad and I had in common. Is my dad, he he played in the minor leagues for the Expos, never made it to the big leagues. But man, his dream was to play in the big leagues. I followed in those footsteps. But when your dreams are the same, and he sees that you want it, and as a dad, like, it's his job, I say his job, but it's his duty as a father is to get you there,
That's
right?
right.
I'm going to give you every opportunity. You may make it, you may not make it, but I'm going to give you everything I can, and my hopeful that you get there.
I love it. I love it, dude. So you touched on, that dream, following your old man's footsteps and your journey, kind of, going from the bottom to the top, dude. Like along that way to get you spend 5 seasons with the Phillies, right, as the backstop, dude. Man, what worked for you? How did you get there? Obviously, like that is a loaded and general question, but like, man, what really worked for you to get you there and make you stay there for 5 seasons?
Uh, man, honestly, a little bit of luck. Um, in 2012, I was in high A. I was having a great year. I was an all-star in the Florida State League, which means absolutely nothing. But I was having a great year. Well, Hunter Pence was a Philadelphia Philly at that time, and we were kind of, that organization was trying to hang on, but wasn't sure what was going. Well, they trade Hunter to San Francisco. We get back a futures game catcher, and I'm like, well, and they send him to Double A, thinking I'm gonna go. I'm getting there, that year. Don't go to the fall league. All this mess. I'm like, man, it's frustrating, right? So now I'm like, okay, gotta go. I got to kick it into another gear. I've got to find another gear. So I obviously go hard in the weight room. I go, I'm hitting earlier in that off season. I'm throwing earlier. I'm going to be the best player that I can possibly be going into that next year. And they had already told me I was going to be in Double A. Like I'm not staying in High A. I blew the doors off of it, right? Well, Double A, I'm splitting time with a guy on the 40 man, and you learn the politics of baseball. The 40 man is going to he's going to play, right? Well, they send that kid that was traded to AAA, right? And so now it's kind of a log jam in the catching position in places. So I'm playing 2 games, DHing off, play 2 games, DH off, and we're splitting time, right? Well, come May, they're like, whoever's playing better is going to get whoever is going to be the everyday guy from that point on. Well, May comes around, I'm playing well, the other kid's not, and that he's still 40-man guy. Guess what? Nothing changed. So I'm frustrated. And Dusty Waltham, who's the third base coach for the Phillies now, was our manager, and he calls me and he's like, keep playing. Don't get frustrated. So my mindset's okay. Just how can I get this out of my brain that I've got to play. I can't let this affect me. So keep playing. I'm still having a good. Things are going well for me. First week of June, kid in AAA gets a foul ball, concussion. And I'm like, okay. Guess what? Guess who's going to AAA? This guy.
Let's go.
Right? So I get an injury help, right? Well, now, and I still to this day never forget the words. Dusty calls me in the office, tells me, he looks me in the eye and he says, don't come back. And I'm like, let's go. Right? So I go to AAA. This is in 2013. I started in AA. I'm splitting time. Get to AAA. I go. Playing great. Kid comes back from the concussion. They send him to AA.
Ooh.
Right? So I've taken that step. Right? I go on between the 2 levels. I think I hit right around 270 with 14 homers, drove in a bunch of runs. September is not like September now. You could call up to 40 guys. You could have your roster expand to 40. I wasn't on the roster. They made room for me, and I get called up. All because guys get hurt. And I'm splitting time. It's my mindset, I think, is really and truly my talent. I had talent, but everybody's got talent, right? Everybody has the talent to be there, or they wouldn't, right? But my mindset, my drive, it was like, keep going. And then Dusty telling me, don't come back, right? I still struggled. And, I had my 0 for 4s, my 3 days without a hit, but I always tell myself I was just dumb enough not to care, right? Like, I was dumb enough to not let it affect me the next day.
Oh, that's huge.
And it's so hard because now they didn't have the social media to blast everybody like they do now. Oh, Cameron hasn't gotten a hit in 5 games. He's 0 for 22, whatever it may be. He's struggling, da-da-da. And they get tagged in it. They tag these kids in it. And what do they see? Negativity. Now, don't get me wrong. We had the social media, and was I guilty of looking at it? Of course. But I wanted to see the good, right? I remember Joe Madden actually came out and said, we ought to have 2 different types of Twitter, one with all the positive and one with all the negative. And you can only choose one. If you go to the positive one, you can never go to the negative side. If you choose the negative side, you can never go to the positive side. And I think it was great because what you see is what you become, right? If you're just focusing on the negativity all the time, like what's your brain telling you? I can't hit. I can't. like I'm struggling. Well, I can't. The word can't it popping into your head all the time. It's like, no, man. Like, look at the positive. Like, yeah, I went over 4, but you know what? I hit 3 rockets right at people. Bad aim today. I had bad aim at the dish. I got to get better, right? You know, and let's go. Let's have 4 great at bats tomorrow. And you know what? Maybe you get 2 broken bad hits that just go, it turns you over.
That's right.
And so, like, my mindset was always positive, always positive. And yeah, did I get down in the dumps? Of course. I'm a human. Everybody does it. But how fast can you turn it over?
Ooh, that's dude.
How
That's
fast can you turn it over? How fast can I say, okay, yesterday's over. Yesterday's over. It doesn't matter. Tomorrow I'll wake up and it's a new day. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to fix whatever I'm feeling or that isn't right, and let's do it. Let's move forward. It doesn't matter. I'm so-and-so, whoever's on the mound, has to face me today. I'm not facing him. And I learned that from Tulo. I asked him that same question, like, what changed throughout your career? He said, every morning I had my routine. My routine started with a cup of coffee in the morning. I got to face Max Scherzer today. I'm going to face Steven Strasburg. I got to face Jacob deGrom. Right? About the 4th year, he said, 3rd or 4th year, it said, Jacob deGrom's got to face me today.
Oh.
Right? So now I've turned it as like, I'm the guy. I'm the guy. He's got to face me. Let's get after it. Right? And it starts, and now my mindset's like, I'm the dude.
That's right.
That song, I'm the man, I'm the man. You know,
that's right.
Aloe Black, that was my alarm. So every morning, I woke up to a positive, you can tell everybody I'm the man. And people don't have to know that, but I'm going to wake up with positive energy and I'm going to go.
Oh my gosh, dude, that's huge. Think about baseball, right? Like you want to be positive. You're playing 162 games, 140 games, whatever it is, depending at the level. And dude, if you fail 7 times out of 10, you're going to be a millionaire, right? Yeah. Think about how much negativity and failure there is.
Mm-hmm.
It's mind blowing. So being able to just like little things like that, starting the day off positive, man. What?
Yeah. Start the day. Like yesterday's over. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now, you may not play that next day because you had such a terrible performance, but you know what? Go to work and fix it. So when you do get your next opportunity, it's there. You're prepared. You're ready. Like that's the one thing, and I can quote a lot of people. Like Derek Jeter said in one of his, now that he's doing TV stuff, he's like, the game speeds up on people that aren't prepared. Mm-hmm. If you're not prepared for what's going to happen, it's going to speed up on you because you're not ready for it. But if you prepare yourself, you will be ready.
I love it, dude. So that's 2013. Man, I love it. I got a couple more questions for you. So that's 2013. You get up there, man. 2016, you're the Phillies starting catcher. You play in 105 games, dude. 252 average, 26 doubles, 16 home runs, 54 RBIs, dude. Played in almost 300 career games over the entirety of the career, 240 hits, 39 home runs, and 124 RBIs as a catcher. That is elite, man. So I've always heard the fastest way to get to the big leagues is being a switch hitting catcher, right? Those guys are few and far between, right? Just A, being a catcher is hard as shit. B, being a switch hitter, that's elite, dude. If a catcher isn't a switch hitter, right? If say a catcher in high school or college or in the minor leagues wants to be like you, man, wants to kind of achieve the success that you had, but they're not a switch hitter, what could or should they focus on to maximize their potential and their career as that catcher?
Now it's defense. You better be able to catch and throw, boy. That's really important now. They have all these statistics of defensive runs saved, runs framed. I can't even tell you, but they look at all that because if you look, let's look at a guy like Martin Maldonado. The guy hasn't hit 200, barely hits 200 every year, but he's got a job in the big leagues because he handles the pitching staff. He can catch. He can throw. Defense. You know, that's so important. Game management, calling games. You got obviously high school, college level. The coaches do a lot of that for you, but you learn as you get older. You start to understand the game. If I'm now when at the junior college level, it's a little bit different because we don't have the technology like the big Division ones, the all the TrackMan. We have some of that stuff, but true media is a big deal where you can go and you can watch video. Other schools, we don't have that opportunity. But if I'm a Division I catcher, I'm trying to get with our coaches when they're going over scouting reports just to learn about how hitters are, just to see. And it's, you don't have to do it every week, but learn so you know and you can anticipate probably what they're going to call. You can learn because because you're going to get to the minor leagues and they're going to hand you a scouting report and say, call a game. That's what they're going to do. They're going to tell you, hey, this guy can hit this pitch. Here's his. Now go call a game with the guy that you just met, 3 hours ago that got here from wherever. And it's like, go.
Yeah. Here are your strengths. Yeah. Maximize.
Yeah. Like, here we go. So you've got to learn really, like, you got to learn on the fly. And that's, catching, man, it's a premium position. Like I said, foul ball got me to AAA. I mean, that's all it is. A foul ball caused an injury. Like, it's all,
dude,
it can go fast.
It's crazy. It's you just saying that, like, the reason why I got an opportunity in the big leagues was because Byron Buxton had a hurt shoulder. Mm-hmm. He had a hurt shoulder, man. And, like, they weren't 100% sure, like, if he laid out to catch a ball, if that shoulder's going to blow out again, or if he slides head first, is that going to blow? So I was the backup to the pinch runner at the time, right? He's hurt. Dude, it's crazy you say that. I absolutely love it. And just saying, like, the separator, right? Having a strong mentality, knowing the game, like, dude, that all factors into, maximizing your career as a catcher. I love it, dude. Last question I got for you, Ruppy. I am so grateful for your time, dude. You are blessing the next generation of athletes just with this, man. So this is the 9-Hole podcast, dude. So obviously, like, I'm speaking to the next generation of 9-hole hitters, whether they are underdogs, underdeveloped, undersized, whatever it is, undervalued. Man, when you think about a 9-hole hitter, whether it's in minor league, whether it's in major league, whether it's in college, D1 or JUCO, like, when you think about a 9-hole hitter, what are the characteristics or traits that come to mind for a good, solid 9-hole hitter?
Give me a competitive at bat. I don't care what kind of hitter you are. Give me a competitive at bat. Give me a guy that's going to turn the lineup over. Give me a guy that's going to get the next guy to the dish. That's going to, that can do everything. They can lay a bunt down. They can drive a guy in with 2 outs. They can put the ball in play and possibly beat out a infield single. Now don't get me wrong. I hit in the 9-hole a few times in my career. I'm not technically a speedy runner. Hell, even though my first hit was an infield single. But give me a guy that's going to give me a competitive bat. It turns the lineup over. It gets your big boys up to the dish again a little bit quicker. A second leadoff hitter. It's you can really tinker with the lineup to put guys in and really go. Like, everybody can see, oh, well, he's hitting 9th. Yeah, but watch that dude smoke one in the gap and watch him fly, right? Mm-hmm. Watch him put a ball in play and get down the line, and now all of a sudden our leadoff hitter who's going to give me another competitive at bat, he may steal. Either now we're hitting with a guy in scoring position, or if he gets thrown out, we took our chance, but I got my leadoff hitter up. Give me ways that a little bit of versatility. Give me a little bit of the guy that's going to be a thorn in your side at the plate. That's just, I'm going to grind out at the back. May not necessarily be the most talented at some of the lower levels, but he's going to give me a competitive bat to be able to turn that lineup over.
I love it. I love it, Ruppy. Thank you so much for your time, your expertise, man, sharing some stories. Cameron Rupp, everybody, thank you guys for tuning in. Check out Cameron Rupp. Check him out, man. Instagram, Twitter, man. Over at Blinn College as well. Check out that program. Big things coming their way. I appreciate you, Ruppy. Thank you for your time, dude. Looking forward to the continued success, man.
Absolutely, Millsy. Thanks for having me on, man. A lot of fun. Good catching up.
Likewise, brother. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will catch you here on Wednesday. Take care, Ruppy.
You too, brother.